One thing to truly look forward to in Star Wars Episode 9 has all to do with the character of Rey and her lineage that will be made as an important piece in this movie by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, a lot of people have been really curious about this movie as we get closer to the very end of filming of Episode 9 by JJ and Chris. They are really working very hard on this film in the last couple weeks of filming for this movie, which, by the way, are the very important weeks of principal photography in order to really wrap up the third act of this film. We do know that some reshoots are actually planned for the third act of this movie that will likely be filmed, I would say give or take around March, maybe April at the latest. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, what's really intriguing is that part of the script rewrites and adjustments for the third act of this movie has all to do with Rey's father and her lineage in Episode 9. Now, this is really raising a lot of questions as to exactly what J.J. Abrams is doing here for the final installment of the Skywalker saga. Exactly what is he trying to do and introduce to the fans when it comes to Rey's father in this movie, to the point where some of the script rewrites and even the reshoots that will be for the third act of the movie will have all to do with Rey's father and Rey's lineage/origins. So what I think is happening here is that there's a great possibility here that JJ is trying to tie her father to basically somebody of importance. Somebody, let's say, for example, like Luke Skywalker, or maybe even somebody around the lines of within the Star Wars Legends and or EU material that'll be making their way into Episode 9. Now, we heard about this figure for the longest time, about this actual character that has the long hair and a ponytail, wearing the Jedi-like robes, and a lot of people are starting to wonder on whether or not Rey's father is actually a Jedi in hiding. Now, to this day, we really know little to nothing about the events in between the sequel trilogy and the original trilogy, besides from what we have actually read within the Aftermath novels and Empire's End, etc. Aside from all of that, we really don't know too much about what happened in between the sequels and the originals, which honestly I think is a fascinating thing because there really is a lot of material to work around with that. We do know that Star Wars The Mandalorian is going to serve as one of the first actual projects that is based after Return of the Jedi, 3 years to be exact. So with that being said, the fact that some of the reshoots that are planned for the third act of this movie and some of the script rewrites for the third act of the film have all to do with Rey's lineage and Rey's father tells us that JJ is actually trying to make Rey's parents of importance in this movie. Now, whether or not they are going to be new characters that are just completely powerful in this film that will explain as to why Rey is so powerful, or if they are really going to do something so massive to the point where it's going to be like, let's say, for example, Luke is Rey's father, and that truth is told by Obi-Wan Kenobi to Rey, perhaps. They could do something crazy like that if they really wanted to. Or they could do something far more simple where they just reveal who her father really is and how it's really, pretty much important to her as a character. Now, we do know that Daisy Ridley has said this before. While they were filming The Last Jedi, Episode 8, she was always saying how she believes her parents aren't all that important, and it's all about where her character is going and exactly who she's going to have a family with. And she said this at the Oscars, I believe it was at 2016 or 17, if I'm not mistaken, which was also a major hint that there may very well be a family being made between both Daisy Ridley's Rey and Adam Driver's Kylo Ren. There's a lot going on here for the sequel trilogy that JJ and crew are really trying to figure out and are really trying to get done correctly in order for it to really resonate with a lot of fans out there that really will hit their fans' hearts, I think in order to get this right, they really do have to get this done correctly where it's not going to feel shoehorned or it's not going to feel forced. It really does have to feel right. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at The Empire Strikes Back, the whole I am your father moment, it just felt right. It didn't feel shoehorned or it didn't feel as a component in order to just shock fans out of nowhere for no reason. it felt right and it truly changed the original trilogy at the time. So they're trying to do something similar in a sense with Rey's lineage here and Rey's father in episode 9. And this is honestly creating quite the stir right now. A lot of people are really pretty much mystified as to what's going to happen in this movie and where it could actually lead us beyond episode 9. We do know that Disney and Lucasfilm have plans for the sequel trilogy to build towards something bigger, and that will actually create a ton of future Star Wars films, which is really, pretty much making fans speculate here that there's a possibility that the very ending of episode 9 will actually turn out to be open-ended. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.